Section 1, Prologue, December 26th, 2019. December 26th, 2019. Petrix has completed his mission. He repaired every singularity, saving mankind from a dire existential threat. The race-shift system, which let him fight the destruction of proper human history, has been placed on lockdown as of this moment. The servants summoned to Chaldea have been released from their contracts, their task complete. Save the Chaldea's acting director, Leonardo da Vinci, every Chaldean servant is gone, vanished from the face of the earth. Fo? My alarm. Fo. Morning, Fo. Fo. Pardon the intrusion, Master. Petrix. Oh, you're already awake. Good morning, Senpai. You must have been exhausted after all the Christmas cleanup. I'm glad Acting Director Da Vinci gave everyone today off, after we all went a little wild last night. It's hard to believe it's been a whole year since we completed the Grand Order and prevented the incineration of humanity. Yesterday may have been our last opportunity to eat with the staff we've come to know as so well. But we shouldn't be too sad about that. They all have great jobs waiting for them at their next employers. I was also told that you'll be the first going back to your family's home, Senpai. Do you, know what you'll be doing after that? I got such a huge paycheck that I'm totally at a loss. What about you, Mash? What will you be doing? Let's go with that one. We don't care about the money. I'm going to stay at Chaldea just for a little while longer after everyone else leaves. All of our medical data may be safely backed up, but we still have to finish dismantling Chaldea's summoning system, so... Whoa! Where's he going running off? Whoa? What was that all about? He just ran off down the hallway all of a sudden. I'd better go look for him to make sure he doesn't interfere with everyone else packing. Please, you just relax, Senpai. I'll see you again tonight at the farewell party. Well, I guess I'll be saying goodbye to this room soon. I've seen this room in VR as well, chat. Well, you've seen it with me in VR, right? Maybe I'll take a walk around. Maybe I'll go stop by the command room. Yeah, let's do that one. This was the room we first met. Romanian as well. Romani. Did you hear the news? They said the inspectors for the inquiry board are already at the foot of the mountain. Apparently, they'll be coming up here by helicopter once the blizzard dies down. Soon, we'll have a new director appointed by the Mages Association, along with 50 of their flunkies. Saying it's an investigation sanctioned by the UN sounds nice, but let's not kid ourselves about what this is. It's just a hostile takeover. All this time, the higher-ups at the association have written off Chaldea as just another observatory. But the moment they see its value, they swoop in to milk it for all it's worth. Maybe it's weird for me to be upset about this, but I feel sorry for Olga Marie. She never have wanted things to turn out this way. Well, that's not a surprise. I mean, you couldn't stand her back when she was alive. It's not a surprise you couldn't stand her back when she was alive. I mean, sure, I remember how she used to yell about everything and anything. Plus, she was, well, incompetent, messed up all the time. But still, when I think back on it, I can't help but be impressed at how well she did despite all of that. Honestly, we should have been more considerate of her circumstances. Even if she was the daughter of a lord family, she was still just a girl, fresh out of school, who'd recently lost her father. I guess, but you just have to set that sort of thing aside when you take a position of power, right? As the heir to the Anospheres, or I can't remember how you say that word, Anumospheres, she should have had that stuff completely covered, no matter what her age, or how recent her dad's death was. To be brutally honest, she should never have taken over as director in the first place, but she clung to the authority it gave her anyway, and look where that got us. Chaldea was nearly obliterated, and we had to beg the Mages Association for help to rebuild it. So it sucks, but if we want Chaldea to keep going, we have to let this new director take over. And if Olga Marie was still here, you could bet she'd be the first to in line to hand off the responsibility, seeing as the alternative is having it shut down for good. Hey there. Oh, hey there, Captain Fetrix. Taking a walk around Chaldea? Enjoy it while you can. This is probably your last chance for a peaceful walk and fun memories here. Once the investigation gets going, there'll be a scary security guards around like they own the place. Interesting. You know, maybe I should take a page from your book and go for a walk myself. Maybe you should, man. This might be the last chance I'll get to go wherever I want around here without any security pass. So you're staying here, Dustin? Oh, right. You were just an ordinary engineer, weren't you? Well, excuse me for being ordinary. This is why I hate talking with you upstart mage jerks. An ordinary engineer? Sure, not everyone who works for Chaldea is a mage. I used to study cosmic rays as a run-of-the-mill psychic, what is it saying? Psychist? Before I came here? Wait, what? Physicist, even. Physicist? Dirt. It was the last director, Maris Burry, who offered me a job here. At the time, I was struggling just to get by. I'm guessing he wanted me for my experience with particle accelerators. At first I thought he was full of shit. But eventually, his earnestness and passion won me over. Before I knew it, I found myself out here in the middle of nowhere. That was 15 years ago. As far as I'm concerned, this place is my home now. Is that so? I'm headed to London myself. One of the Clock Tower factions liked what they saw and made me an offer I couldn't refuse. But hey, if they start talking about making a new Chaldea, maybe I'll give you a call. We're not kids anymore, right? Nothing wrong with selling your hard-earned expertise to the highest bidder in this day and age. That's just like you, Sylvia. You always were a real piece of work, but I appreciate your consideration, or at least as close as you can get. While you're here, Candidate Fetrix, on second thought, just let me call you Fetrix. The inspectors are going to have some questions for you, seeing as you're one of the master candidates. And the Mages Association people are about 10 times more calculating and devious than Sylvia here. I don't think you'll be in any danger as long as Da Vinci's around, but watch out all the same. No matter how horrible they are to you, you can't lose your temper with them. Like they say, the only way to win is to not play. Just smile and nod. Just try to not let them get to you. Don't worry, just play up the goody two-shoes act, and they'll run out of nits to pick soon enough. You'll be out of there in no time. Damn it. I agree with that. Besides, you didn't do anything wrong, Fetrix. If push comes to shove, we'll vouch for that ourselves. Given the circumstances, you took the best course of action possible, and did everything you could. We can all attest to that, so don't be afraid to hold your head high, and tell them, yeah, I'm Fetrix, Master of Chaldea, and Savior of Humanity. What do you want? I like that line. A little bit of cockiness and bravado. Well, hey, if it isn't Fetrix, how come you're not with MASH? This year's only got a few days left in it, you know. If I were you, I'd want to make sure I had as many happy memories as possible together with her before I left. I just wanted to say my last goodbye to you. Well, thanks for that. Too bad about the whole last part, though. But never mind that. I still have to finish writing this report. Got some last-minute things I need to take care of before tomorrow. See you. Anyway, you've got questions, right? Or you see. Anyway, you've got questions, right? Mind if I keep writing while I answer you? Fine with me. Great. No need to bother telling me what they are. Da Vinci knows what's up. The new director, who will be here soon. The pending investigation. What's going to happen to Chaldea? So, how about we review everything that's happened so far? Oh, we're gonna go through every single artery? In the year 2017, Chaldea detected an abnormality in Chaldea's assimilation of the world as it'll be 100 years in the future. Was that in the year 2017, Chaldea detected an abnormality in Chaldea's assimilation of the world as it will be 100 years in the future. The light of civilization had gone missing from Chaldea's, which meant that it had observed the end of humanity. We hypothesized that the source of this abnormality lay in 2004 in the Japanese town of Fuyuki. We decided to send a team, Team A, of which MASH was a member, there on an experimental race. Unfortunately, the entire team was incapacitated in an act of sabotage, as were the masters on standby. That's Chaldea down 47 masters and a single stroke. But then there was you, Petrix, the 48th Master. You were just a commoner, selected to fill a quota, but you race-shifted successfully. And so, as humanity's last master, the mission of preventing mankind's extermination fell to you. That began the Grand Order, our mission to restore humanity. Chaldea went on to fix 7 singularities before finding the final singularity. There, they defeated the King of Mages, the one behind the incineration of humanity, and succeeded at preparing the foundations of human history. That's right. You are the one who officially completed the Order, and who took back the world for mankind. The very world you're standing on right now. But your incredible legendary adventure has come to an end, and it's time to return to reality. Frankly, it's time to pass the torch. We've lost 80% of our staff, and we simply can't continue operating as matters stand. So we're getting an influx of new staff from the outside. The formalities were finished about a month ago, and they just finished choosing the new staff last week. Which means they've now been discussing what to do about us for almost a year. This staff is particularly knocking on our doorstep as we speak. In a few days, Chaldea will officially be under new management. A new Chaldea. That's right. We'll have a new director chosen by the Mages Association itself, along with the staff he personally trained. The new director is Gordolf Music. He's the heir to the fairly well-known family in the Magecraft world. Was that Gordolf Music? Music. I'm told he spent pretty much everything he had to snag Chaldea and all its benefits. He probably did that as a show of power to let everyone know that Chaldea is now exclusively under Music family control. The proceedings are already underway, and it looks like most of our current staff are being let go. But that's not the problem. You'll still be you, even if they kick you out of Chaldea for good. The problem is the UN inspectors, who will be coming along with them. Grand Order or not, there is no denying Chaldea broke a whole mess of regulations. Changing personnel without clearing it with the Mages Association, disclosing highly classified information to low-level personnel, overusing servant summons which were supposed to be limited to 7 servants, concluding race shifts without UN authorization. As far as they're concerned, these are all major crimes. Even though we didn't do anything wrong, even though we were fighting to protect humanity. Let's do that one. How could we consult when they were all dead, man? Exactly. Not a single one of us did anything for our own personal benefit. Couldn't even if we wanted to. In fact, seeing as we were the only humans left in the entire world. But unfortunately, that meant less than nothing to them. Sure, they could see what we were fighting against in the data. The year-long global bank, the traces the singularities left behind on Sheba. Unbelievable as the incineration of humanity might be, the association had to admit that it really did happen. But for them, the data is just that, data. All they had to say is, in response was, so what? As far as they're concerned, the world ended while they were sleeping, and by the time they woke up, it was all back to normal. The only thing they could see is the scores of dead, the valuable master candidates who were injured. And the litany of rules Chaldea broke with this was going on, or while this was going on. So this investigation is taking place to determine if these acts were deliberate. In the eyes of the association, the staff of Chaldea is nothing more than a band of criminals. Of course, that's why I'm writing all these reports, to prove that this is all just a big misunderstanding. Since data is all they've got to work with, data is how we're going to cover our asses. Once I prove that everything Chaldea did was in order to preserve humanity, and not betray it, my work here will finally be done. Then, the weight of everything he stuck with me will be finally off my shoulders, including you, Beatrix. Did she mean the weight that Romani left? Romani! So that's why she's been sticking around. So what is this paperwork you're going to file? Let's go with that one. Oh, and there's one more serious issue you should be aware of, especially since it concerns you directly. The blast in the command room left all 47 of those masters with horrific injuries. With them all near death, we cryogenically froze them in their coffins. We've been slowly thawing them out, one by one, over the past year. Now only 7 Team A masters whose coffins were still activating when the blast went off. Again, the entire team, save for Mash, remain in cryo storage. It's a good bit harder to thaw them and revive them, you see, so we kept putting it off until they were in perfect condition. But but once the investigation gets underway, we should finally be able to revive them, thanks to new staff who specialize in healing spells. And I'm guessing that once that happens, some of these Team A Masters are going to take over as the new Masters of Chaldea. The new director has been saying he won't need you anymore, and that you will be relieved of your position within the year. Because he's already got his eye on other Masters he trusts from distinguished mage families. Anyway, I know this is a lot to deal with, but don't you worry, I'll take care of everything. I haven't spent the last 6 months preparing for this day for nothing. I believe you mean we, Leonardo da Vinci. After all, I am the one who did most of the work, investigating the Association's movements, anonymizing the Spirit Origin graph, and dismissing the servants. Not that it was especially onerous for me, of course. Holmes? What? Huh? Why are you... Ah yes, precisely the sort of reaction I was hoping for. That makes all the time I spent hiding in the shadows worthwhile. Why did you have to let someone, even him, know you were here, Holmes? Sorry about that, Vectrix. The fact that Holmes is here is the toppest of top secrets. I have not so much as included his name in any of my reports to the Association. As far as they know, Sherlock Holmes was never among the heroic spirits summoned to Chaldea, and I mean to keep it that way. I guess you could call this a kind of insurance policy, just in case everything goes south. Insurance policy? Da Vinci's always prepared, man. She's always prepared. Indeed. In the event that we face an enemy we cannot see, we will need an ally the enemy cannot see in turn, hence our extreme caution. Of course, I am no fighter. Should things turn violent, I won't hesitate to retreat to the workshop. What about your Baritsu? Baritsu is strictly for self-defense. If armed assailants were to attack, I would only be able to protect myself. Whoa, whoa, easy there. Things may get heated, but they're not going to turn violent. The main reason I had Holmes stay behind was to help with something I've been working on. You see, Holmes is an even more skilled scientist and mage than his stories let on. So I figured he would be the perfect choice to help me with a little something I've been building. What is that? Looks like an Iron Man box. Look at this, just an ordinary briefcase, right? But its contents were more valuable than all the treasures in this world combined. We still haven't finished moving everything around, so I can't take it out just yet, but we should be done in another 5 days. If my calculations are correct, and they always are, it'll be done before we have to leave Chaldea. I'll tell you what it is then. I most heartily concur. Now then, I shall return to the workshop. And don't worry, if the time should come when you are imprisoned, that is when I shall reveal my most secret technique. Wait, why would we be in prison? Is it like the super Baritsu? Let's go like that one. So like, super Baritsu? Oh come on, he was obviously talking about lockpicking. Any decent detective is an expert with lockpicks. Alright, let's take a quick break. Let me catch up with chat real quick. Okay, so far that was okay. I mean, a few ominous words there with like foreshadowing. Like they're at the base of the mountain and they're coming. Run! Run from the hills! They're on the way! I got a little bit of goosebumps, okay. That part was pretty straightforward. Goodbye to my room, yeah. My room. That big box looked like Iron Man case, though. See, now I'm a little bit worried, okay? So, I mean, they don't care that we saved the world. To them, it's just like whatever. You know, they were, like she said, they were asleep and they woke up and it's already fixed. And we went through that like year long of hell. But the fact that Da Vinci's planning to keep Sherlock's secret is like, that's already a lot of foreboding, right? It's like, yeah, you know, keeping Sherlock's secret because they already feel like something's gonna go wrong. Kumu. Let's see. Catching up with the rest of chat. This is the last section, right? There's only two sections today. I was told there's only 2 sections. but caught up with chat. Then we'll carry on. I need to refresh my dashboard because my dashboard seems to be crashing today apparently. Holmes is a planeswalker, remember? Yeah, I remember. I remember. Do you remember? Do you remember? Second half 30 SQ, right? Let me refresh my Twitch page. I can't see what you're saying in chat right now. Yo, Akita, what's up, buddy? How did your Christmas go, man? Hopefully you had a great Christmas. Akito! Ritual hugs. Spend the 30 SQ, get on story. Now I'm saving mine for Hokusai rolls. Yeah, Merry post-Christmas to everyone again. Hopefully you guys had a great Christmas, and hopefully you have a great New Year, and hopefully we can spend another great year together. Alright. Let's go. Part 2, here we go. Entering story mode. Section 2, Prologue, December 26, 2019. December 27th, 2019. The blizzard has come and gone. Now all that remains is clear blue sky. Before long, the pale blue is marked by a single black dot of an approaching helicopter. The helicopter brings important passengers, and the harsh reality that the end is close at hand. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, not this music. Oh. We need our robot voice. I haven't used it in a while. 44 visitors cleared and registered. All entrants are permitted to enter Chaldea by special exemption granted by Association Board of Safety. Opening from gate. Welcome, Rudolph Music. Welcome, UN inspectors. On behalf of Chaldea, we thank you for coming. Plus more of a PA system. AI does. It's fine, whatever. So this is... I wonder what this new director of the Mage Association show is like. Gordolf Music, male, 28 years old, heir to a wealthy family of alchemists. At the clock tower, where the Mage Association is headquartered, he is considered to be well about average. Much as the music can boast a long familial history within the world of magecraft, they have essentially accomplished nothing. The only thing that sets them apart from the other mages is the extra bit of wealth they've accumulated by virtue of existing longer. Gordolf's basically just a rich brat from a well-off family. The question is, why did someone like that end up as Chaldea's new director? Doesn't sound good. I can't be certain until we meet him ourselves, but if I were to guess... Uh-oh. Oh ho ho. Oh ho ho. This is great. Better than great. I didn't have very high hopes for a lab out in the middle of nowhere, so you can imagine my surprise and delight to see how modern it all is. In fact, I think it might be even more advanced than the ones in London. What a bargain! Speak of the devil, he certainly got a boisterous voice. Just remember, Fetrix, science is golden. Trust me, this is the sort of person whose bad side you want to avoid even more than Olga Marie's. Piss him off, and you'll never hear the end of it. Oh ho ho, and you must be the servant I heard about in the report. You certainly do look the part. Let's see, Leonardo da Vinci was it? Not bad at all, for a replica of a well-known genius. I always did prefer a beautiful woman for a familiar. Your Excellency, I believe that remark could be construed as sexual harassment. Remember that servant is, for all intent purposes, the acting director. Though it amounts to little more than running a dinky factory out in the sticks, she has managed to keep Chaldea in lieu of proper director over the past year. It would be in your best interest to get on her good side. Why not lead with a compliment? Oh god, what is that, Russian? Koyanskaya? I thought I told you to whisper those sorts of things to me. Besides, I have no intention of getting chummy with a servant, no matter how beautiful she may be. Why, thank you. You're only the last person I'd ever want to hear that from, but I'll take it as a compliment nonetheless. Welcome to Chaldea's Security Organization, Director Mizik. You must be tired after your long trip here. Not at all. Aside from the month we lost due to waiting around for the blizzard to clear up, it was most of a pleasant trip indeed. Now then, without further ado, Leonardo da Vinci was it? Just call me Da Vinci, or Castor, if you find even that too much to remember. Very well, Castor should do more than suffice. I am told that you have been filling in after Director Olga Marie, Anosphere, and Acting Director Romani Archman suffered some unfortunate accidents that led to them being unable to perform their duties. Your hard work is appreciated, but no longer required. As of now, I'm assuming sole command of Chaldea. What's more, what? Much as I hate to do so, I will be taking all of you into custody immediately. Oh, is he gonna be an asshole? Oh no. Oh no. Easy there, Mash Spectre. Just play it nice and cool. My, what an unpleasant surprise. Custody, you say? Did I hear you right? I'm afraid you have no grounds to do so. Not until this investigation is over, at least. Have the powers that already ruled that Chaldea is no more than a criminal cartel, and you simply neglected to inform us? Because I am quite sure that if that were the case, you would have come with more in the way of soldiers. We are the mysterious organization that saved the whole world, after all. If there was a warrant out for the arrest, you would have come with a small army at the very least. But you only brought partly 40 soldiers. Doesn't it seem fit to the task, does it? So this isn't something the Mages Association decided, but a call you made on your own, right? Why don't we get the association on the phone and see what they have to say about this? Or would you prefer I didn't do that? What's the meaning of this, Koyan? This servant is too smart for her own good. I can't say her name, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Did you tell me that the only people left at Chaldea were a bunch of engineers and a master who was still wet behind the ears? I thought there wasn't supposed to be anyone here who would disobey me. Yes, Your Excellency. That was my understanding when I introduced this property to you, but my report must have been in error. Sorry about that. I'm afraid that servant is a reprehensible villain who doesn't know her place and thinks she doesn't have to listen to those of us of the Mages Association. Wait a minute, Koyana. Wouldn't a familiar who doesn't obey a mage be somewhat dangerous? How do I say her name? Koyanskaya? I feel like it's Russian or something. Koyanskaya or something. Koyanskaya something. We're just gonna call her Koyan. Come now, Your Excellency. That won't do. We need to be aggressive. Show these people who's boss. Don't worry. We at NFF services specialize in just these sorts of unlikely situations. Even if the worst comes to worst, we won't let any of them lay a finger on you. Of course, that is a special additional service, so it won't come cheap. What is this? Don't tell me you're going to try to shake me down yet again, are you, Koyan? Your Excellency. Yes, I know. Don't worry. I'm a man of action when I need to be. You've got quite a mouth on you, don't you, Leonardo? Just to be clear, this is far from the only personnel I brought with me from the Mages Association. Our helicopter will be back and forth ferrying many personnel over who are still on the boat. All told, there are about 120 security guards who haven't yet to arrive. It would be all too easy to take over Chaldea with force, and I assure you that is a decision the Mages Association would back wholeheartedly. It would be well within our rights to consider the entire current staff criminals, and to hold them up and lock them away while we investigate Chaldea. Having said that, I would prefer to avoid violence, should that be possible. Most of you will be fired regardless, but I would prefer we part on amicable terms. As such, I will have the 4 of you kept in a single room. You will wait there until the inquiry board summons you for your individual hearings. During that time, we will proceed with our inquiry into Chaldea's activities while we begin to transition over to the new staff. How does that sound? I believe this is the most peaceful option on the table. I dare say you wouldn't get such a generous offer from another member of a wealthy mage family, like those blinded by their pride and brand ranks. They may think of those like you, with no talent for magecraft, as little more than slaves, but not me. And above all, I'd like to spare myself the tedium of torturing you for every little piece of information. I prefer to let Koyan handle that. Wahahaha! You should be grateful that I'm such a gentleman. Just as I say, you'll be released soon enough. I see. Mages Association certainly sent us quite a piece of work, didn't they? Thank you for that breathtaking display of chivalry. Director Rizek, now, may I ask you something? I'd like to know why you brought up the rights to Chaldea. Surely a little research lab out in the middle of nowhere can't have much of interest. Not much of interest? Hahaha, I'll be the judge of that. True, Chaldea doesn't enjoy the best reputation at the clock tower. I can't count how many times I've heard them say things like, their magecraft theories are nonsense, and they're just a bunch of incompetent frauds, or they're a disgrace to the 12 Lords. To hear them talk, you'd think they were discussing a problem child they wish they'd never been born. But not me. I believe there is tremendous value to be found here. Chaldea shows real promise. Or at least it will once I'm installed as director. At any rate, when I learned that Chaldea was being broken up into 7 parts and auctioned off, I made my decision and took action. Wait, broke up into 7 parts? That's weird. I used the entirety of the music family fortune to buy all Chaldea's assets and prevent its dismantling. You see, the clock tower people were desperate to get their hands on the technology they could bring back to their respective departments. But I just detest them. I couldn't stand to see them get what they want. An organization needs all of its parts just like a human body. It's barbaric to try and carve out its head or lop off one of its arms. I wanted Chaldea in its natural, untarnished state, and now I have it. But I suppose there's an exception to every rule. The staff of an organization may be its lifeblood, but we won't be keeping them around. There you go, Petrix. As you can see, he's hardly the most formidable opponent we've ever faced. I believe that is more than enough in the way of pleasantries, Dr. Music. You are the future of Chaldea, and they are the past. There is no need for you to reach any sort of understanding with them, nor for them to like you. More importantly, now that the church is ready to investigate, I would like to begin as soon as possible. Oh no. Is this who I think it's going to be? The church? This is fate? There's only one person this can be. Indeed. You make an excellent point, Father Kodomine. I knew it! I knew it! It's him! Oh yes, allow me to introduce you. This is... No! Why is he in every fate and he's always a bad guy? Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Kodomine Kide. I'm a priest sent here to investigate on behalf of the Holy Church. I'll be staying here for a few days until the investigation is concluded. It's a pleasure to meet the saviors of humanity, people of Chaldea. I may not be here long, but I hope we can help one another out during my stay. He has to be in everything, doesn't he? He has to be in everything. Oh god, instant bad goosebumps. My hair is instantly sticking on end after seeing that name. Oh god. Nothing can ever be good from that name, no way. I can't believe Chaldea's disciplinary room is now being used as a confinement cell. You said it. If I'd known we were going to end up stuck in here, I'd have loosened up the pressure strings when it come to its budget. Just look at those rock-hard beds, the obsolete air conditioner, this cut-rate lighting even, lightning? It may as well have been a confinement cell all along. At least we're technically allowed to leave if we want, but still. Yeah, at least our bathroom is separate from dining area. I don't care for the way the new director does business, but I'm glad we're all together. Glad they didn't separate us, Smash. B2, I'm still processing being placed into custody like this, but as long as you're here, Senpai, I don't have to be afraid. Still, acting director Da Vinci, I think I'll have a handle on who Mr. Godolph is now. I think I have a handle on who Mr. Godolph is now, but those other two, Miss Koyan and Father Kodamine, how do we say his name again? I feel like I'm saying it wrong, because he's always called like Kide. We still don't know what their deal is, right? I haven't been able to get a read on them either. I can tell they're not just your everyday secretary and priest, but that's all I can tell. I can't get a read on their magecraft abilities either. All I know about Father Kodamine is that he's from the Holy Church, another organization that's long butted heads with the Mages Association. As their name suggests, the Holy Church is a mysterious organization based on a religion that has followers all around the globe. They see mystics as something that's solely under their domain, and suffer neither magecraft nor heresy in the name of their lord. Their mission is more or less to bring all human knowledge under their control. They were a lot more aggressive about that back when I was alive, but nowadays they seem to be playing their cards much closer to their chest. I'm guessing that priests must be part of their combat team. Executors, I think they call them. They're supposed to be devotees of the Blade, who spared God's teachings in his absence. That's all you need to know about them. These executors are both faithful and heretical, monsters who fight the mages and mystical creatures. They may not be a match for servants, but they are frighteningly powerful in a fight. True, I could tell that the priest is adept at hunting and fighting. Or at least, that's what Galahad is telling me. As for Kyan, we know so little about her that it's almost comical. She isn't affiliated with either the Mages Association or the Holy Church. It looks like she was one of the many who have convinced Gordolf to acquire Chaldea. Aside from that, she did mention NFF services. I've heard of them before. They made headlines in Russia about 6 months ago. They're a private military company, mercenaries basically. Word has it that they're a group of specialists who've never met a job they didn't like. I think they go around billing themselves as global Kitschek business consultants. Kitschek. Russian. The Mages Association doesn't have much sway there, so how did Gordon come to know one another? No, wait. There were a number of academics among the new staff. They're all from NFF services. In which case, they must be planning on reviving Team A with the new staff alone. What? That's insane. They don't know how much constant attention adjusting the coffins required during the unthawing process. We've done it more than anyone, and it still is a huge chance of failure, even for us. There's no way people who have never done it before can pull it off on their own. Yep, pretty solid chance they'll fail, and Kadia's 7 A-ranked masters will be lost for good. Of course, that may be the point. Huh? Petrix, get out here. The inspectors want to talk to you. Well, now, looks like they're not wasting any time getting the interrogation party started. I'm surprised they'd kick things off with you, though. Wait and see what their game is. Remember, science is golden. Try not to say anything more than is absolutely necessary. Not like I know anything anyway. Not like I actually know anything. Oh god, if they're trying to get rid of all the masters and they're calling me out first. Oh god. We're dead, chat. Good. The case inspector is waiting for you in room 3. Just answer his questions honestly, and you'll be released in no time. Don't even think about trying to resist. Oh god. Starting with the masters first. 6 hours, endless questions. I had no idea what they were even talking about most of the time. Let's do that one. You look exhausted, little boy. This is your first time playing with the big boys, then you'd better hurry up and learn how the game is played. As they say, experience is every— Ah! Was that Fu? Did Fu just slap her? Fu! Fu! Kill! No! She just hit Foe? Grrr, she's instantly evil. How could you beat Foe? Oh, is this your cat? I'm sorry, I couldn't help but hit back. Kill! Is she squeezing Foe? Whoops, clumsy me. Now I've gone and stepped on it, but what can you do? This is how it goes when the weak attack the strong. Maybe once upon a time this thing was more impressive, but now it's just a puny little hairball. That's Primate Murder you're speaking to, man! It's the way of the world that it finds itself under the heel of a stronger animal now, don't you think? How dare she bully Primate Murder? Stop it! Oh, so wild. How brave of you to bare your fangs for your little pet. It's even cuter how they're barely more than nubs. But I can't just let it go. No, no. Not after it went after my perfect skin with its little claws. Normally, I'd break a leg or two, so it knows not to mess with me again, but I might be willing to let it go unharmed, if you agree to chat with me for a bit. So what do you say? Care to swap secrets with little old me? Oh god. I'm trusting you to keep your word. I have to save Fu, man. I have to save Foe. Q! Now, settle down, little Foe. Your owner and I are just getting down to brass tacks after all. Alright, now that we have an agreement, my dear Fetrix, here's my first question. How much do you know about Chaldea? I'm told you were scouted in some random country and brought here directly. But no matter how you slice it, you were born into a commoner's family. I bet you didn't even know the first thing about magecraft before you came here, did you? No, don't answer. It's all over your face. I see. So you had a strong aptitude for ray shifting. I can't believe you came all this way alone. All this way on that alone. Do you even know where you are? They probably didn't even tell you which country Chaldea is located in, did they? All I know is we're on a very tall mountain. Now that you mention it. You're at the heart of one of the most secluded areas in the world. One of the, not in the borders of any nation. An unobservable mountain that's been hidden behind a barrier of magecraft for hundreds of years. Had Chaldea actually told you where you'd be going when they recruited you, I doubt you'd have ever signed up. I can practically see your protests asking if they've lost their mind, expecting you to go so far. Trust me, this place is as isolated as you can get. I could show you the 6 months worth of paperwork it took to buy this place to prove it. But never mind that, it doesn't concern you anyway. The thing I'm dying to learn more about is the original 48 masters. Of those 9 are still here, Mash Crylight, the 7 Team A masters in cryo state storage, and you. The other 39 have been revived and sent home. No doubt they went back to living their lives in peace, but the thing is, their personal information still goes for a very high price. And why wouldn't it? Now that it's been proven that ray shifting is possible, each of those candidates is worth their weight in gold. But none of them are likely to fetch as high price as Team A. They were the 7 people who were originally meant to save the world, not you. Oh wait, that's not right, is it? Let me rephrase that. The 7 people from whom you stole the opportunity of a lifetime. Fool, fool, no, kill! Get off a foot, you little woman! You damn hecker! Okay, that's enough out of you, my little footstool. Think you can kneel for me, like a good little weakling, before the plane comes in for a landing? Now then, tell me, how much do you know about those 7 people? Don't tell me you've never heard anything about them the whole time you've been here. They're your great senpai, after all. I'm pretty sure even Mash knows a thing or two about them. After all, they were training together to be masters long before you even knew what Chaldea was. No way, you really have no idea? Never mind their magecraft affinity, you don't even know their names? You're kidding! I didn't know you were so cold-hearted, Fetrix. In that case, you really can't blame them if they wake up pissed off at you, can you? After all, you stole everything from them. Their jobs, their purpose, even their place at Chaldea. Foe! 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 No, Foe, stop it! Oh my, that was close. Come now, little Foe. You shouldn't keep going after a lady's face. Keep acting up like this, and I might just have to defend myself, maybe by biting off your head. Then what would it be for you? And you wouldn't have any more chances to learn again, would you? No. Foe. Oh, drat, look at the time. I'm supposed to meet Sir Godolph soon. So on that note, I think I'll be on my way now. No more wasting time on a know-nothing patsy. Lucky for you, you're so ignorant, isn't it, Fetrix? Wait, patsy? That means, the person they're going to use to take all the blame. Oh no. If you knew anything at all, even about one of the Team A masters, I'd be rushing you off to grill you about them in solitary for as long as it took. But sadly, it looks like that honeylicious branch isn't available to us, so bye for now! And be careful when a beautiful woman comes your way from now on. Trust me, you don't want to find yourself falling for the honeypot. Foo! Now I'm wondering if we were never told about the masters for a reason, like maybe some master plot by Romani or even Da Vinci, like kept the people from Team A hidden on purpose. Team A masters. Foe! Welcome back, Senpai. I see you met up with Foe on the way. He's been hiding out for a while, so I'm relieved to see him with you. Senpai, is something wrong? Did the investigation go badly? It's about Team A. Team A? Now you mentioned it, I never did tell you about them, did I? I didn't mean to keep it from you. We just never had the time to discuss them. That's true, especially since Team A Masters ended up not being at all involved in stopping the incineration of humanity. But now that they're about to be thawed out, and we have nothing better to do, it seems as good a time as any to tell you a little about them. Team A refers to a group of A-ranked masters handpicked by Chaldea. Mash was originally part of this team too. First up, Kirishatria Wadame, the chairman of the Atmosphere-controlled Astromancy Department, one of the Clock Tower's 12 departments of study, and the official Team A leader. He is the head of the exceptionally distinguished Wadame family, whose name and magical circus have been around for thousands of years. He is also Mercury's top pupil, and was rumored to be a better heir to the lordship than Olga Marie. He was expected to forge a contract with the Lancer. In terms of overall magecraft capability, he was head and shoulders above the rest. We don't actually get to see their face. Ophelia Farazalone, the prodigy of the Evocation Department, or Evocation Department. She possessed special mystical eyes, so she wore an eye patch that really made her stand out, even here. She was expected to forge a contract with Saber, but she seemed to be very peculiar about what sort of heroic spirit she would contract with. Kadok Zelomopus. Nothing special as far as mages go, but his affinity for Ratian was exemplary. His story is pretty similar to yours, seeing as he was only an ordinary member among all the geniuses of Team A. But his kindness more than made up for it, even if it did descend into self-depreciation at times. Yes, I remember. Kadok was always concerned for others. Though he also had a pessimistic side, which bothered him as much as anyone else. He was expected to form a contract with the caster. He didn't have much magical energy, so he wanted to avoid a combat-oriented servant who would guzzle up everything he had before the fight had even begun. Next up, Scandinavia Pepperonicino. Peperoncino. Yes, you heard me. Scandinavia? I can't even say his name. Oh god. Nobody knows his origins, and he's using a pseudonym, obviously. I forgot that word as well. He was a freelance mage Marisbury recruited after they met abroad. Cheerful and funny, he was always had a joke ready that kept Team's A spirits high. He was also the oldest member of the team. You could say he was a man a bit ahead of his time. He was expected to form a contract with an archer. He had an Italian air about him, but he was also strangely knowledgeable about Buddhism. Naturally, he also knew a lot about Indian mythology. Said he liked myths about cycles of death and rebirth. Akuta Hinako. She got her start in Yumina, the botany department, which is tied to the studies of witches at the clock tower. She used to be part of Chaldea's engineering team before her latent talents were spotted, and she was added to the pool of master candidates. She was the kind of person who would have been happy doing nothing more than curling up with a good book from morning till night. But she had a strange aura about her you couldn't help but notice. Come to think of it, Romani used to sulk about how she never come in for routine physicals. She was expected to form a contract with a rider that was really important to her for some reason. Next, Barrow Gut. As for him, I guess we don't have to cover all of these matches in depth. Moving on. Wait, why did Foe go ... Last but not least, we have... Oh, David Sem. David Sem Void. He was something of an enigma, really, a loose cannon you could say. He even got himself banned from his department of the Mages Association. That would be the Folklore Department, or Brishan, if you're wondering. They deal with otherworldly artifacts. It's an unorthodox field of study, despite being led by the Clock Tower's Chancellor. Anyway, Marisbury, the highest regard for the David's talent. I thought he was a rare find too. There's only one, maybe two other people I recognize as geniuses, even when I was alive. And David was right up there with them. He never tried to understand anyone else, and nobody else ever understood him. He was expected to form a contract with a berserker, though no one ever expected him and his servant to reach any sort of understanding. And that's every master on Team A. Quite the cast of characters, right? But don't let that get you to you. If anything, they're the ones who would be timid around you now. They may have been your senpai a year ago, but now you're the senpai, and you've got the experience to prove it. Team A is nothing if not a mediocrity. They respect people based on their accomplishments, and yours have been pretty incredible. In fact, if I were you, I wouldn't bank on getting any sleep for a week or so once they're awake. They'll be constantly bugging you to tell them all about your experiences and singularities. Wadame has a great tea stash, as you'd expect from a noble. Kadak can be shy, but he's very studious, and is hugely into mythology. Peppy was a great listener. Even Akuta, who usually never said much of anything, would open up in front of him. Indeed, I have no doubt that half of Team A would get along great with you, Fetrix. Which is exactly why I'm concerned. Thawing them out will have a profound effect on Chaldea's future. Gordolf is moving full steam ahead with the thaw, but it'll take at least 4 days to get all of the equipment ready. I can only hope they finish investigating the current staff before they get started. I agree. Our term lasts until the very end of the year. So if the investigations conclude by the 31st, we should just be able to help pull them out. The very end of the year. Full! Right. Whether you stay or go, this is still our problem to handle, at least for now. If something were to go down, I'd definitely be on the last day of the year, the 31st. So let's just be patient, keep our guard up, and wait for the right opportunity. Sound good, Master of Chaldea?